year. I was so interested in seeing what him and Quinn Ewers do this year. There's been so much hype.
We should have a pretty dangerous running back in Blake Corum.
Maryland's got Talia Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
A little too backyard football.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And you know what day it is. It's Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. So that means I'm here with my guy. You see him, host of Restoring the Roar, Alex Loosemore. What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. A lot to go over. Obviously, a lot happened for these guys this week. Big rivalry game starting today. We got the battle for state here. You got Penn State, Ohio State. There's some massive games going on this weekend, and some stuff to look ahead at as well. So, big week for college football.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I just saw that. Yes. What is going on? Colin, in the comments. Look, this is an impromptu kind of show. We're talking about the game. There's a lot we're going to talk about. I'm going to send the link out to you, Colin, because we're going into storylines, because in the second storyline is about your boy. So I know you got a little bit of inside information. So if you give me a second, I'm going to definitely send you that and see if you can go ahead and get up in here, because, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot to talk about, and there's a lot going on. Hey, like you said, I mean, a lot of great games happening, but a lot of things have also happened in between the lines.
Yeah.
And I think it's time we kind of get down to it, and it hits home, man. You talked about it. Even though your biggest issue should be this green that's about to come down. This green, baby. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Lansing, baby, let's go. But realistically, your real issue is, hey, Michigan is back in the news. They're under investigation for allegedly stealing signs. Hey, how will this impact the season? But is there any validity to the story? Like, talk to us, Alex.
So here's the thing. Stealing signs is not illegal. Everyone's doing that. You're allowed to steal signs. What they're saying happened is that we sent people to games, like to live scout, which is not allowed. More specifically for the signs. Now, there's a couple things I don't understand. So, well, first off, the guy that wrote this article and released it for ESPN right off the bat, same one that jumped the gun with the Manti Te'o story without doing any real research into it. So that kind of throws some red flags there for me. And two, this one is more Yahoo Sports than ESPN, but the guy that they're saying stole the signs and all that, who we've already suspended, and he's away from the team. He's an assistant coach, an unpaid assistant coach, if I'm not mistaken. The pictures they used to show him in the act, he's on the Michigan sideline. So how can he be at the other game stealing signs if he's on the Michigan sideline? So I don't know. To me, this screams them piling onto Jim for not being able to nail him with anything from that first investigation. Yeah. And like I was telling Ben and Johnny and those guys on Thursday, when you mess up and the NCAA can't necessarily pin you for anything on their first investigation, you're going to be under the microscope for every little thing the rest of the way. So when somebody tips like, hey, they might have been stealing signs, they're going to go full-fledged into it and look into it. To me, I think this is just more kind of towards what Braylon Edwards said about it. We're back to being a dominant program. Some of the schools in our conference don't like that we're back to being a dominant program, and they're trying to take any shot they can. So I think this is just some of those rival schools not liking that we're handling business again.
Interesting. So maybe our guys should be aware if you guys are starting to steal the signs of our dominant game plan.
Every team the rest of the way that Michigan plays had the chance to cancel the game. The NCAA gave them every chance. They all denied it and said, we'll play. Yeah. So, and to be fair, the two schools that it's kind of being guessed that they are saying we stole the signs are Rutgers and Indiana.
Yeah.
Did we really need to steal signs to beat you guys? I don't think so.
That's the problem.
Yeah. I just think this is them trying to pile on, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Now, could it be true? Absolutely, it could be.
Yeah.
But until we see even a shred of evidence, I'm not batting an eye at it.
Well, yeah. And I think it goes back to like what you're saying. It's like at the end of the day, the NCAA did not go through with the 4-game suspension, but Michigan imposed their own suspension. So the NCAA is kind of like, okay, you handle it, but it's like, wait a minute. We want to still say our piece. We want to still add in our little 2 cents on that matter, man. So, and they are still going to punish us for that. There's 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 level 2 infractions. So like minor infractions for recruiting that they're going to penalize us in 2024. Yeah. I'll wait to see what that is. But, I saw this comment right when it came up. I thought it was pretty funny. It's good. I'm not. Hey, he can't read the lips either, man. I'm covering it up, man.
Here's the other thing. If you're worried about a team stealing your signs, either do what Ohio State did last year and switch up your signs, or do what everyone else is doing and go to the wristbands.
Yeah, right.
Like it's. I don't know. I don't think there's anything really to take from it yet. There could be something, but just like every other scenario we've gone through with this, like the Mel Tucker stuff, all that, I'm waiting and seeing until there's something that leans me in one direction.
Yeah. Because there's a lot even now coming out about Mel Tucker in the other direction where you're just like, ooh, were they too quick to jump on some of this? Yeah. There's a lot of background. You know what I mean? All right, bet.
Yeah, like you see players from all other schools. Like you had J.J. Watt, who's a Big Ten guy for Wisconsin. You had guys from all these other schools being like, or they could just be scouting. Like it's not. I think the thing. Part of it is we have a top 5. I think we have a top 5 coach, top 5 quarterback, top 5 defense.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just that good. I don't know. Like
that's.
I wanted to try and say that without sounding like cocky or arrogant, but like it's maybe the team is just head and shoulders above those guys.
The proof is in the pudding, man. Like to be honest, there's only one team that's won more games than you in the last couple of years, and that's Georgia. And we've seen what they've done. You know what I mean? So, hey, the proof's in there. But look, I see Kate is here, and we appreciate she's back on the Ladies Show. She did say her piece on the Ladies Show, so I did want to share that and get your reaction to it real quick. Let me see. Let me bring this up. All righty, here we go.
All right. We got to talk about it, Kate, because it's all over the news. It's all over everything everybody's talking about is the NCAA is investigating Michigan's football.
Oh yeah.
So
we're used to it. It's part of like the ground and the woodwork, everything else. Yeah. Because we supposedly stole signs and
exactly. I know.
We gotta tell them what.
Wait a minute. That's not the one. Give me 1 second. I'm trying. Let me get the one where she actually says it. But yeah,
while you're doing that, she does raise a lot of really good points. Like if we were stealing signs, why are we getting out to slow starts? Why are we throwing picks against Bowling Green. Why are we like? There's a bunch of that stuff where it's like, yeah, if we were stealing signs, we're not going to be putting the ball into places where it's getting in harm's way. We're not going to be struggling against those kind of teams. Like, yeah. I don't think there's anything real to it.
All right, here it is.
What do you guys think? What do you think?
It's a bunch of bullpucky. if we were really doing all of this, we wouldn't have had rough starts against like Indiana. We had rough starts against Rutgers. We didn't always come out powerhouse like we should have, and we didn't like completely. Oh, good Lord, Sean Spencer, get away with that crap. But my team had 3 interceptions against the defense. If we read their defense perfectly, he shouldn't have thrown 3 interceptions in a game. We shouldn't be turning the ball over, or we shouldn't be doing some of the stuff we're doing if we have all the signs, all the signals, all the scouting that they're talking about. I mean, I just think we have swag that says Michigan versus everybody, because that's literally what it is. And Sean, it's not true. It's just
I was poking fun.
It was Indiana and Rutgers, the 2 last teams we played, and we beat them pretty handedly. That have made these allegations against our team and against our coaches. And all I know is Harbaugh is not that man. He is very true. He is very honest. He's very humble. He's a good Catholic man. That man believes in his faith and believes in God. He would not cheat. He would not steal. He would not beg, and he would not borrow to win those games. He has been at that organization for 7-8 years now. He has had several different coaches come in and out. He's just finally got the right chemistry and the right powerhouse. And maybe some princesses in the SEC have decided maybe they don't want to see the blue blood Michigan team win. And so they're like, why do you make a few phone calls so they don't come and beat Georgia? Sorry, Anthony. But I'm just so sick of the scandal and the controversy that it's always Michigan this, Michigan that. But other teams can do whatever they want to do and barely get a slap on the wrist. Yet we get all these investigations. You don't see other coaches getting suspended. You don't see other organizations in college football going through what we're going through. I mean,
game days at Columbus, right?
We watch this. Yeah. Whatever. We'll just take it out on the football field. We don't have to settle this in huddles. We don't have to settle this anywhere else.
Harbaugh stole my sign. Harbaugh stole her sign. Harbaugh stole his sign.
We're going to show them that we have a very good coach and a very good program, and we're going to win on the field because we don't need all the other stuff that they claim we need.
All right. Wow. You heard it from her first. You heard her reaction. You know what it is.
Wow.
Hey, in my first. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, that was Kate Albertson. For those of you that don't know, and that was a powerful rant. But go ahead, speak on it, man.
For me, my first thought, where I kind of questioned it the other way, was when I was watching that, and then I saw your comment of, well, you didn't have your head coach for those first 3 games. So I was like, well, maybe was he off at other games watching, like. But I mean, there was the first week, him and Sherrone Moore were both suspended, so Harbaugh went over to Moore's house. They watched the games there. So week 1, rule that out. But I was like, there was week 2 and 3 where he could have. But then I was like, no. As soon as they said it was the other guy, I was like, no, there's nothing to it.
Yeah, no, not at all. So, hey, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we will see if that has any impact in the game. Obviously, they have to take on Powerhouse, the giant brother in East Lane. Wow.
It's a little more than
you
that.
know what?
Little more than that.
Go White! Let's go. Couches are already burning, baby. That's right. But look, we have to move on because we got to talk. There's one more major storyline out there that people have been saying. Kate said he was working.
Yeah, that takes out another week. Yeah, week 3. That's right. Or no, week 2. Week 2. So week 3, maybe he was somewhere else.
We still don't know. And they're gonna find it. They're gonna find it. What up, Scott? I know you guys are Mizzou fans today. Hey,
I gotta say I'm biased with that one because of Will too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey, look. Let's go ahead and move on. And we got to talk about this. We've been talking about this team all year. The only team, like we alluded to, the only team that has more wins in the last couple years than Michigan, the Georgia Bulldogs. And
this shows up at the perfect time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And if there's ever a team that has it, what's going on, Anthony? That seems to have all of the answers and it seems to get it done year in and year out. It has been them. And on a team full of stars, we all seem to elevate this one guy, Brock Bowers, Baby Gronk, as he's been called, the best tight end and the first tight end. And I mean, I want to say ever, at least in my memory, that's been even somebody that could be considered for a Heisman Trophy or even in that conversation.
Yeah.
So, and if you have not heard recently, got hurt. I believe it was an ankle.
Yes.
Ankle injury. And the way it's looking, they're potentially going to have to do surgery, and what they were thinking 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to bring in our guy, one half of that dynamic duo that is This Week in Georgia Football, Colin P. What up, Colin?
Hey, good morning, guys. What's going on? Happy Saturday morning football to you.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I see you sent that. Yeah. Handy, get in here if you can. But yo, speak on it, man. So talk about the injury, talk about what you've heard and what was going forward.
Yeah, basically, every coach or every fan does not want to hear a high ankle sprain because that's like the worst thing aside from a broken bone, really. So what they did, it wasn't a high ankle sprain. The X-rays were negative, but they did in fact do that tightrope surgery. So basically, what they're doing, they put a screw in there to kind of stabilize the ankle. And yeah, you're right. The recovery time's around. They said 4 to 6. I mean, it could be longer. I mean, each player is different. But you know how Brock Bowers is. He's itching to come back. You never know. He may be, pushing it to be sooner than later.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But,
now let me go ahead.
No, I was going to say that Kirby did say that in his press conference that he's not he's not concerned with getting him back on the field, just getting him healthy. That's the main thing. Just get it load bearing, that kind of stuff, and not push it, not rush it. Get him. We've got some in the stable, man. We got some people that can take his place, but it may take a couple of them to take his place. But we got some people.
Well, so that was my question. Delp, he's the immediate name that comes up to the list, and I'm gonna ask you this, but bring in Handy. I see Handy's in the background. What's going on, Handy?
Hey, what's good? What's good, fellas? How y'all be?
Doing well.
Always good. Always good.
How ironic that I happened to click the link right when y'all decided to start talking about my boys. My ears were itching.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. So going back to this, Colin, and I'll let you answer this right after, Handy. Bowers being out, you talked about, hey, next man up. We've all had that discussion. All said that. Is Delp the guy? Is somebody else going to come that we do not know about? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he's a good replacement. Is anybody really a total replacement for Bowers? I doubt it. The kid's he's in fuego. He does things that players shouldn't be doing. But he throw the ball around him, he's gonna bring it down. But this gives more action to Delp. Delp is kind of in that the Stetson role, like he's been biding his time, and then he's even said in this past press conferences that he's been taking notes, and the best mentor ever is Bowers. So he's ready to move. He's played a little bit. He hasn't had that many snaps, but when he's in, he's been doing pretty good. So this will give him more coverage or more exposure and more playing time. I think we'll be all right with Delp. And also it'll open up all the other receivers as well. So if you look at the stats and everything, 8 or 9 receivers have been getting the ball. Beck's been spreading the ball around. So I think we'll be all right with Delp.
Oh yeah, Handy. What you think, Anthony?
Did you hand the question to me?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. All I heard was hand. What hand? What? Where? Anyway, I was like, "What? Am I in a horror movie?" I just disappear. Do I think that Delk can do the job? Well, we have seen what Kirby Smart has been able to do with guys that have had to sit in the wings and bide their time and get on the field. We talked at length, ad nauseum for the last couple of seasons about a kid that wound up having to transfer to Jones College just to wait long enough to get his shot, and who led the team to back-to-back championships. We've talked about there are guys that are playing. Keely Ringo wound up having to sit behind some guys before he got his shot. I think that one thing that Kirby Smart has shown himself to be able to do. Now, this doesn't mean that he's able to do it with everybody. You know what I mean? But Kirby Smart has been very adept at getting these guys to, with a couple of noticeable exceptions, he's been able to get these guys to hang around the program and bide their time until they get their playing time. And when they get out there, they make the most of it. I mean, perfect case in point. I don't know if you guys have been following this Muse kid that's been playing on special teams. But that, he's just been hanging around the team, waiting for his chance to do his thing. And he's been out there doing it. He's had a couple of really good returns, a couple of big returns on special teams. What's your boy's name, Colin? The one you fell in love with? Sound like a rapper, Cash Jones. Cash Jones is out there. I mean, he's not. The thing is that these players are not. Some of them, like Cash Jones, is not necessarily making huge impact. But when he gets the opportunity, Cash has scored a couple touchdowns in crucial points in games where the touchdown is the difference between the win and the loss, or the turnaround and the offense turning on in the second half, like we have been doing for this season, which has been driving me completely crazy.
Or the extra touchdown that pads the stats.
Right. Right. Why you got to bring up? Hey, look, man, you can't tell all the family secrets, man. You can't tell all the family secrets.
But real quick. No, I do want to ask you this, because I asked Colin this. You and I have been talking college football longer than any of us on. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've seen, just like I saw Sam Howell since his freshman year. You've seen Brock Bowers since his freshman year. What does this do from like a leadership standpoint? Him being out, I know he'll still be in the locker room, but not being on the field. Like when you need a big play, everybody in America knows where it's going, and still nobody can stop him.
Right. What does it do for a program like Georgia? To be completely honest, I got to tell you, I think the way that Kirby teaches and instills in these guys is that one man does not make this program. Because remember, after we went to the national championship, everybody thought Jake Fromm was the guy until he wasn't.
Yeah.
And then when Jake Fromm left the program, people were like, "Oh man." The fans, from the fan perspective, are like, are we really going to roll with Bennett? I mean, he looks good, but he's untested. And the next thing you know, you get an Natty, and you get an Natty, and you might get a Natty this. He's not here now, but I think the Kirby Smart, one of the things
he did have two of the best defenses.
He did. I'm not going to lie. Hey, look, if you got a defense that puts you in a position where you only got to go 20 yards to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
You can only play with what's on the roster, right?
Exactly.
Right. And you say, and if that roster happens to be good, then hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like somebody complained. It's like somebody. Honestly, to be completely honest, it's like a guy like me that makes what I make annually on my job complaining because Bill Gates gets to eat. Bill Gates gets to eat grain-fed, corn-fed steak and chicken every day. That's what the man got to eat. I got to eat what I got to eat and make the best of it, and he got to eat what he got to make. He gets to eat what he got to eat to make the best of it. And Georgia has suffered from what I like to call an embarrassment of riches.
Suffered by building the Avengers of college football. Yeah.
Right. And I say suffered. Georgia has been suffering from an embarrassment of riches over the course of the last. I mean, I'll say it since the national champ, since the year we made the run for the national championship, at the Rose Bowl with Baker Mayfield and all of that good stuff. Because we had that year we had Chubb and Michelle, and we had DeAndre Swift. We had those guys then, and then those guys left, and then next up you got Brock Bowers coming in, you got Stetson Bennett coming in, and then all of a sudden me and Colin are looking at each other like, who the hell is this kid Ladd McConkey, and who is this kid Kendall Milton? Even though Milton is the best unhealthy. I'm gonna make a statement. Kendall Milton is the best unhealthy running back in college football.
Yeah, absolutely.
He might only be able to play 6 plays for 2 games, but he will come out and give you 380 yards in them 3 runs.
That's very true.
So it is my feel. I mean, honestly, let's be real. If we didn't have Brock Bowers, Donnell Washington would have shown a lot brighter, because Big O was out there doing this thing. So I think I honestly think Oscar Delp will be. I think Oscar Delp will be just fine. They suffer from a little case of, Sean, you played ball. Colin, you played a little ball. I played a little ball. Alex, you played a little ball. Remember when you finally got the coach said, hey, and the butterflies kicked in and you were like, can I do this? Can I do this? And then you put pad on pad and you're like, oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now,
Well, I mean, Delp was no small
ahead.
kid. I mean, like he's 6'7" and 245 pounds. I mean, he's a big.
Wait a minute. I didn't read his whole biological. I wasn't all in his personal business like that. 6'7". That changes. That changes some things. You got to do this out there 6'8", 4'12". He should be slapping dudes on the head and taking their milk money.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Can I answer this question in the comments? Did you put that up there for me?
Scott, Scott
6'5", 225.
Yeah, 6'5". Sorry about that.
That's still a big dude.
That's still.
I'm 6. Look, I'm not a small dude. I'm gonna be looking up at him like, excuse me, Mr. Delp, sir. I know I shouldn't be calling you sir because you're young enough to be my kid.
You know what? I'm looking for a freshman. I'm looking for a freshman. We got a freshman tied into 6'7". So look that guy up. I can't remember his name.
Okay. Next man up. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
My question with it was just going to be like Sean alluded to earlier. Every time you guys have needed that like game clinching first down, the big play late in the game, it's gone to Bowers. Who do you guys expect to be that guy to take that role?
I want to say, go ahead, Colin.
No, go ahead. I'm thinking of that. That's a good question.
I was going to say if Ladd McConkey is healthy next week, and he didn't get a whole lot of touches last week, and we got a bye week this week. If Ladd McConkey is healthy, he'll be that guy. I also see for Delp to get some touches as well. And then we already know what Dejon Edwards can do.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dejon. Dejon would be one of the pick, the little off counter, little dump offs. I mean, I'm sure they'll do that to him a little bit. Maybe my boy Cash Jones. You never know.
Yeah, I can honestly say that with consistency outside of Brock Bowers, even in the games where Colin and I are going, why are they pussyfooting around with these guys out there? Dejon is out there slashing and cutting when they needed a crucial first down. And the pass game wasn't hitting, hand the ball to Dejon 2 or 3 times, and it's a wrap.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I think this is going to be a game where Carson Beck kind of, if the last couple weeks were games where he silenced the doubters, this is going to be a game and going forward where he says, "Hey, it's not Brock Bowers. I'm not doing it because of him. I'm not doing it because of these guys." Edwards would have been my number one guy, but I think this is where Carson Beck kind of cements himself as either I'm going up, or I'm just going to be another guy that's a Georgia quarterback.
Very, very nicely said, nicely brought out that he has grown. I have loved watching him grow more comfortable over the course of the season. I think a big part for him is when the season started, he knew he had big shoes to fill. And if Stetson Bennett never plays another down of football in his life, he will be an absolute legend on that campus. Period. Point blank. Without question. I mean, Herschel Walker, his personal life outside of football notwithstanding, I mean, he was in the middle of a campaign, and he was in the middle of a hotly contested political campaign in the state of Georgia against I cannot remember his Raphael Warnock. And even during that campaign, he showed up at a game and the crowd was on their feet calling the dogs right along with him. You know what I mean? So I think he realized he had some huge shoes to fill, but he has grown more and more comfortable every week. It really showed 100% during the Kentucky game. And I would like to think that since Georgia has been doing this playing up to the competition thing this year, with Florida being 5-2 this year instead of being like the maybe 3-4 that we thought they would be at this point in the season, I'm thinking he's gonna come out. He's gonna come out guns blazing.
Yeah, Sean, you made a good point about his his emotion. Like, he had been composed and that kind of stuff. And I think he finally, that Kentucky game, it kind of showed a little excitement, jumping around on the players, people picking him up and that kind of stuff. That does the world of, the difference for a quarterback like that, having the butterflies, having those big shoes to fill. But I think last week also kind of made him, I'm hoping it kind of gave him a little more humility too, because he did have that pick. And he didn't play his best. Like, he came out of that Kentucky game and then kind of messed around with Vanderbilt a little bit. We did win the game and everything, that kind of stuff. But maybe he's coming back. Maybe that he had kind of a up and a down, and maybe he'll bring them two together. In that Florida game. So, but yeah, the main thing with him is just keeping excitement. I think with him is just he needs to keep it pumped up because he's going to be needed as one of those leaders. So Brock's going to be on the sideline. He'll be the leader. Not on the field, but I'm sure he'll be like Kobe and the rest of those guys.
Still chatting, still talking, still doing
still
that.
Talking, yeah.
Hey, if I don't know if you guys are quick to rush away, we got to do one quick little game ball segment. We're talking about it, but we want to give your quick picks on the SEC if you guys can stick around.
I can.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We'll take you out real quick, and then we'll bring you guys back in a little bit. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen these two Monday nights at I believe 8 or 9, depending on when these guys get together. All of us work full-time jobs, so we have to come home and do that. But they talk this week at Georgia football, but also cover the SEC. So you're gonna have to tune in. They're gonna come back in here, and we're gonna go through that slate of games. And it's easier. We both said when you don't have to play your team that week. When your team's not playing, it's easy to go and pick other games and talk about other stuff. Yeah. So let's move on, Alex. We weren't here, like you alluded to earlier. We weren't here on Tuesday, so we're gonna still do our game balls for last week, the Week 7 game balls. Alex, I'm gonna go to you first. Who was we talked about a couple, and we kind of went back and forth. So if there's more than 2, I have more than 2, so we can just keep going. You let me know.
I can do 3. Okay, yeah.
No worries.
So my first one I'm gonna go to. Heading over to the Pac-12, Sione Vaki, the running back from Utah, 15 carries, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns in a big 34-14 win over Cal.
Oh, nice. Oh, I like that. Sione Vaki. Okay. I also had a running back. I'm going to stay home with this one. Omarion Hampton of North Carolina. 24 carries, 197 yards and a touchdown, and then 2 receptions, 20 yards and another touchdown. He is definitely one that's been emerging and kind of coming out from under the shadow of the Drake May and all that hype and whatever. And he's been helping Drake May a lot because now Drake May has a substantial, a solid running game, and that opens the doors for the passing game. So, who is your number 2?
My number 2, I'm staying at the running back position, going to a game we talked a bunch about from last weekend. I'm going Audric Estime, taking down USC, 22 carries, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. And like we said, the best way to beat a dynamic offense like USC, keep Caleb Williams off the field. Audric Estime, pounding the rock, just under 5 yards per carry. But those 22 carries, that's a lot of time chewed off the clock. Big win for Notre Dame and big loss for USC.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, people are saying it, Scott. People are saying it. Oh, real quick. Do you think Caleb Williams asking for part ownership in the team that drafts him, do you think that will affect him and make the move
to the second round? No. That's ridiculous. No. And see, here's the thing. It's not going to affect where he's drafted because he can't get the part-time ownership. or part ownership.
Right.
The Jets tried to give Aaron Rodgers that this past season with the contract extension, sent it to the NFL for them to approve it. It got denied and sent back. Players cannot be owners at the same time because it's a conflict of interest. So Caleb Williams will not get part-time ownership. He'll still, if he decides to come out this year, he'll still be a top 3 pick. But yeah, no, it's not going to affect his draft stock at all.
No, absolutely not. Yo, my number 2 game ball goes to Ollie Gordon of Oklahoma State.
Like
got the upset over ranked Kansas. They're ranked 23rd. This guy had 29 carries, 168 yards, and a touchdown, but then added 116 yards on 6 receptions, receiving, had another touchdown with that. Look, hey, Oklahoma State had a rough start. We saw some of the early losses that they had in the season where we were all kind of like, uh-oh, is Gundy, is he on the hot seat? Is he on his way out? But they were still able to turn around. They've been able to get the last couple of victories, beaten K-State, and then beaten Kansas. Watch out for them, man. They're still playing football out there. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Did you see Ben's comment there?
Well, Alex, where Tom Brady is a coach, he was there. I didn't see the conflict there. Well, it's Tom Brady. It is what it is. You know what's going on. Yo, who's your last game ball?
For me, I'm going to the biggest game we talked about last week. Oregon, Washington. I am going with Rome Odunze, the wide receiver for Washington. Left the game for a fair bit of time with an injury, came back, finished the game with 8 receptions for 128 yards. That's an average of 16 yards per reception and 2 touchdowns. The guy was electric. He's making a case to push Marvin Harrison for that wide receiver 1 in next year's draft.
Yes.
Very strong case. This guy is balled out all season long. And, I mean, there's a reason we put him as the number 2 receiver when we did our positional rankings earlier this year. The guy is an absolute superstar.
Oh yeah. And on the national stage like he did this week.
Everybody watching that, yeah.
I love that. And my last one, is a guy that we mentioned earlier in the season and the guy that we've continued to mention. He just got his eligibility back 2 weeks ago. And hey, I see why they were trying to keep him out because my man balled out.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Touchdown receptions, 6 receptions, 132 yards and 3 TDs. Also had 2 carries for 19 yards. They tried to get him involved against Syracuse, but in this game against Miami, they brought him out there, and I loved it. I loved it. Okay, I absolutely like that we got to see Drake May. This is why they were so upset that he wasn't able to play. Because immediately, as soon as he got back out there, he started targeting him. And, Devontae Walker, freedom. Hey, the system worked. We got him back on the field.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all he's trying to do. Like, he's not out here like Keydon Slovis or JT Daniels who gets to jump in.
8 transfers and
right. There's free agents, apparently. He's just trying to play ball, man. And unfortunately, with COVID and everything that's happened the last couple of years, he hasn't been able to, and I'm glad he's getting that opportunity to get back on the field, man.
Yeah, makes that dangerous North Carolina offense even more dangerous and solidifies you as one of the top 10 programs in the nation this year.
Yes. And let's see if we can keep that thing going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those were our week 7 game balls. Let us know if you had any. Look, we're going to move on. We got less than about 30 minutes till the games get going. So we're definitely going to break into our college football week 8 Saturday preview. Obviously, there's a number of games that are going on, but like we alluded to earlier, we're going to bring our guys back on, the host of This Week in Georgia Football, Colin P. from the DMB, and our guy, Mr. Fingers, Anthony Handy. Anthony, what shirt you got on?
This is my high school.
You echoing.
This is my high school.
No, I know your audio's echoing. Turn your other.
Trying to.
Trying to. So you got high school drip, man? I don't have no high school drip.
Yeah, I got that high school drip, baby.
I think I got a couple hats around here.
Yeah, this is I'm repping my high school. It was homecoming. Homecoming game was Thursday night. They did not fare so well. They lost 44-0.
Oh,
ouch!
But my high school was never known for its football program. It was seriously. It definitely more of an academic school.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I was the dude. I ran track. I ran track, and I was a captain in the Quiz Bowl team. That's what our school was known for. And our basketball squad.
Yep.
Okay.
The basketball squad was dope as hell. The basketball squad has been in the state championships. It's kind of like a Nick Saban thing where they're in the basketball championships like every other year. My senior year, my junior year, the team went 25-1. The senior year, they went 26-0.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, the 1988 basketball squad at my high school is kind of like the 72 Dolphins.
Oh wow.
Those guys are legendary. Those guys go to the every time the guys make the state championship. Some of the old guys, the captain of the team still lives in town. He goes to all the games and they give him love. It's almost like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar showing up at a Lakers game.
Oh no.
Okay.
So yeah, but I'm giving my high school team a little love today.
There you go. I was gonna say a little bit like you, your Tar Heels, Sean. But I mean, your Tar Heels are showing up on the football field lately. I can't say that.
Yeah.
Can't say it's a basketball school.
Believe it.
Dangerous football program now.
Let's go.
You were asking about high school drip. Real side note. Honestly, if you go to, I think it's fanatics.com, they got a whole high school section. You can type in your high school, and they got it. Trust me.
Man.
And to be honest, I know a guy that knows a guy that can get some All-American high school like Derrick Rose, Kobe Bryant, some of them high school jerseys down authentic to stitched. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just saying if anybody was in looking for it. But look, we got you guys on here because you guys are SEC guys. You guys are all about that. So we're gonna go through y'all list of games today real quick, and y'all just hit us with a quick, who you think's gonna win, what you think's going on. First and foremost, Mississippi State is going to Arkansas to play. Mississippi State's 3-3. Arkansas is 2-5. Who's getting that dub today?
Honestly, Will is out today.
Robert.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, with a shoulder injury.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Will is out today with a shoulder. Will is out today with a shoulder injury, so that is a major factor. And given the fact that they have that Arnett has kind of deviated heavily from the air raid offense, I don't know. I think this, honestly, with that in mind, I think this is KJ Jefferson's game to lose. Mm-hmm. It depends on which KJ shows up. If the one that Nick Saban gave all the love to shows up, that's Arkansas's game.
Yeah.
And it probably should. I honestly, to tell you the truth, fellas, you know what? We love to talk about the guys that are the contenders and the front runners. There's nothing more beautiful sometimes than watching two teams that have nothing to play for beat on each other on a Saturday. And these are two squads that, at their absolute best, can be very good football squads. Maybe not championship caliber yet, but they're two decent football squads. So this might actually be a good one. And that one's an 11 a.m. kick on ESPN. It's funny it's funny we doing this because I just got done recording my little stuff to chop up and throw up on YouTube. So I already got my notes.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy that. I was gonna say KJ's this is a comeback game for him. I think he's Arkansas is gonna have to take this one. I mean, they're picked by 6.5. I think Arkansas was picked by 6.5.
Yeah.
Over 46.5. I don't know if they might touch that over. I don't know though, but I'm going Arkansas.
I can dig it. Moving on down the list in the game that a lot of people want to see how good Tennessee is, and is Bama still able to do what they do, as our guy Colin says. Colin, I'm going to go to you first. Number 11 ranked Alabama playing number 17 ranked Tennessee. Alabama's 9-point favorites. What you think?
Yeah, I think Tennessee's going to cover. I mean, the only thing that bothers me is they're in Tuscaloosa. I think Alabama's going to take the game, maybe a little bit closer than what people think. I mean, I don't know. It just depends on what. I mean, kind of what Alabama team shows up. So I mean, I'd go Alabama just by, I don't know, maybe a touchdown or so.
And what you think, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Colin on this. Alabama's defense has not been as dominant as in years past, and people talk about Georgia having dominant defense the last couple of years. They act like Alabama didn't have some nasty defenses in the last few years. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? That it's their defense has not been. It's not just the offense that is not Alabama standard. The defense is not the Alabama standard either. They have won. I mean, they're 6-1, but I think 3 or 4 of those 6 wins have been skin of their teeth wins. So, and Tennessee is probably not the team you want to play close like that. I mean, depending on which Milton shows up, you might have yourself a little trouble. So I am going to ride with Colin on this one. I'm going to say a touchdown. Bama squeaks, but by a touchdown or less. And I will say this: if Tennessee wins, Tennessee is going to win by at least 10. I don't see it happening, but if they do win, I'm saying Tennessee wins by at least 10.
Yeah, I think turnovers will be a big deal in this game as well.
Yep, that'll be massive.
Let's see which one of these quarterbacks that we've all kind of questioned this year in Milroe and Milton. Let's see if one of these M's can get it done or outshine the other.
The battle of the M&Ms at Jordan Hare Stadium.
Yeah.
So we got 3 other ranked matchups. Ole Miss playing Auburn. Ole Miss 5-1. Auburn gave you guys everything that they had. Is this going to be a close one? I mean, you talk about one team that's still in the hunt.
Yeah, well, Bama holds a tiebreaker over Ole Miss right now with their win over Ole Miss. So I'm looking for Lane to go in there guns blazing, because not only do they have to win to keep pace with Alabama, they're going to also have to make a statement, because Ole Miss is only two spots behind Alabama in the rankings right now. I look for them to go in there. And, of course, Lane talks a lot of trash, but Lane is a student. Lane is a good student. I think Lane has watched enough game tape that he knows he's going to have to go in there and punch them in the mouth and punch them in the mouth quick. Not only take Auburn out of the game, but take the crowd out of the game. I potentially see Ole Miss winning this one by double digits.
Ooh, I can dig it. Shout out to Andrew Faubert saying, I remember someone saying Milroe wouldn't be anything. Might have been me. If I don't know who that's to.
Might have been me. I still don't think he's that good, but
we kind of all jumped on him. And
I think both the quarterbacks in that game aren't very good. So
battle of M's. That's what I'm saying. Colin, what you think about the Auburn and Ole Miss though?
Yeah, that M's for mid too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Ole Miss as well. I think Lane's will come out, and I think Auburn is. Unfortunately, I think they're gassed, man. I think they're. I just think they're done. Yeah, this at least will be a 2-touchdown win for Ole Miss, in my opinion here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Number 19 LSU 5-2.
Very good college quarterback. No, stop it. I just saw the comment.
Who
Very
said that?
good college quarterback.
Well, Andrew.
People said that about Jamarcus Russell. People said that about Ryan Leaf. People said that about the boy from Texas.
Yeah, but those guys actually played well in college. What has Milroe done to play well in college?
Oh, no! You know what? I had. This is not to make fun of folks with dyslexia, because it's a very real thing. I got that whole statement backwards. I thought he said he's not. I thought that said he's not a good quarterback, but I think it will translate in the NFL. I am so sorry. And I got my glasses right here. That's a doggone.
Yo, LSU Army. Army's 2-4, but LSU still. I mean, they've had a couple tough ones, but still 5 wins. What y'all think?
Kyler, you want to step on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. LSU's going to take it. I just don't know how long it's going to. I mean, how much? By how much? I think LSU's going to take it. Daniels he's on the move. I think he's going to be
32.5.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll do that. They might get that. I don't know, but it'll be at least that.
Let me ask you this. I understand the service academies normally don't get the same type of talent, but I don't know if y'all have ever coached a little peewee team. That triple option, T formation, all that stuff tough. They do can be deadly. Is there? I mean, we know that LSU has had troubles. You guys have talked about it a lot. LSU is 1 week powerhouse, and the next week they can't put up anything in the second half. So, could this be a problem at least for a half, or is this one not even?
No, I saw. Look, I don't know. Did you happen to see last year's Army-Navy game, sir?
No, I didn't see that one.
It was a whole bunch of it was a whole bunch of you take the ball, no, you take the ball, no, you take the ball, no, you take the ball.
True.
But listen, I have a.
The reason why I say this
Go ahead.
is because I look at Navy, who is predominantly option run, who added a little pass, and their offense is picking up. Air Force is undefeated at 6-0, and one of the best running teams in the country. And if you could get that triple option, that T, all that stuff working correctly, it's almost unstoppable.
Yeah. Right, but here's
the Army's not them. I'm saying that. Yeah.
Right, I was gonna say, here's the thing. Look, that's just like the joke that old comedian from back in the '90s, Robin Harris, where he said, "Man, I used to watch Popeye every week. Popeye used to eat spinach and kick everybody behind." He said, "I called myself eating some spinach to get in the fight with the school bully, and he mopped the floor with me." So
yeah. Well, I mean, think about us though, Anthony. We remember Georgia Tech ran that triple option all the time. I like it once somebody gets used to it, and once they know how to defend it, it's over. I mean, you don't need to be using that because
right. Well, and again, I have all the love. Because of my service, because of my branch of service affiliation, I have absolutely nothing but love for the Army Golden Knights. Go Army, beat Navy. And these young men are amongst some of the most physically fit people in the United States of America.
For sure.
But physically fit does not necessarily translate to a good football program. You still have to have you still have to have level of talent. I mean, you still have to have level of talent. It's not like the service academies are going out looking for 6'7" and 6'8" 300-pound offensive lineman. There's a physical body requirement you have to have in order to even get in the service academy. So I don't think they're going to be able to compete in the trenches with the big hogs they got down there. I mean, shoot, them boys at LSU eating crawfish and etouffee. It's a wrap.
They wrestling alligators.
Nah, that's the dummies in Florida. Don't even get that.
No. Hey, come on now. There's some dummies in Louisiana too, man. There's some dummies that's like.
Well, you talking about down on the bayou for sure, my share. But I'm talking about them boys that play on that football program. You know, Brian Kelly. Brian, look, Brian Kelly don't even. I'm not
family.
I'm not even from Louisiana, but I can do that accent real good, boy. Chef, so you know what I'm saying? Me and Boudreaux, we had said that we was going to beat them boys when they come in here. So,
all right, make the adjustment.
Yo, and one more in the division. Obviously, Scott Thaler's in here talking about his people. 6-1 Missouri playing Spencer Rattler and South Carolina. Who gets this one?
You know what? Spencer Rattler, I've been saying this all season. We have witnessed the maturation of Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler has gotten away from, I think it's an amazing thing watching somebody get humbled, not in a you get your face punched in way, but he definitely went through a humbling experience coming in the door as an heir apparent in Oklahoma and then having the job yanked away from him in a very public fashion during Red River.
Very true. And
being sat on the bench and watching him try to still be cool and laugh on the bench and knowing that he was pissed off that he lost his job and then transferring. The boy is a ball. The boy. This is the Spencer Rattler. The Spencer Rattler that is at South Carolina right now. That's the Spencer Rattler they were talking about was going to be the quarterback at Oklahoma. And so now he has shown up, and now he's doing him type things. The unfortunate thing is he's at a program that's just not there.
They don't have a running game. Their O-line is pretty rough. They don't. Their star receiver has been hurt most of the year. Shout out to Xavier Legette, who's been balling out in his own right. But it's been a lot of struggle going on. And then you go on the other side, Colin, and you look at Mizzou, Luther Burden, Brady Cook. You know, these guys are trying to put it together. What do you think, man?
Yeah, no, I'm actually anxious to watch this game. So I was just looking. I was wondering if it's a typo. Cook's got 2,000 yards already, passing, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yep.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. So I mean,
Burden's almost at 1,000 yards himself.
Yeah, no doubt. And it just these numbers are crazy. But yeah, I'm anxious to watch this. It might be a better game than people think. I mean, like Mizzou is actually showing out. Recently here, they put something together, like you said, Sean. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think turnovers have a lot to do with this game as well. So I mean, it's just and it's in Mizzou, so they've got it at what? Obviously, Mizzou's giving up 7.5. I don't know. It might be a closer game than what people think, but I think Mizzou's gonna give it to them, and if South Carolina can hang on, then we'll see. But I think Mizzou's gonna take it.
Well, South Carolina's got too many problems this season that need addressing. If this were this year's Spencer Rattler with last year's South Carolina defense, I might say I might go with you there. But their defense this year is they are not if they are not them. Okay, I think they might be able to come out for a quarter because they're going to be hyped up. They're going to be hyped. They're definitely going to be hyped. But I don't think that's something they're going to be able to sustain for an entire.
Right.
I mean,
if they can hang, but I don't see that happening.
You just said it. You just said it yourself, Sean. Luther Burden and Brady Cook. That's all you really need to say. That's like the NFL equivalent of Brady and Gronk or Rice and Montana. It's what do you do to defend against something like that when you don't have the program that's up to that challenge?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting going down, but I'm definitely looking forward to this game, man. And shout out to Will Kramer, who is actually in our neck of the woods in town, hanging out with some close friends of ours. So he's definitely kind of got an eye on this one. So I'll be checking in with him and talking about that. Man, look, go ahead, Colin.
No, you're good. I was just doing the piece.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. So let me hey, I would spend a special shout out and thanks to the cast of This Week in Georgia Football, man. Hey, tell the people where they can find you guys, man.
Well, we are broadcasting primarily on the YouTubers because that is where we can see all of the comments in our feed. We can see in our feed who it is that's actually talking to us. We broadcast strictly on YouTube, although we do share the links to Facebook and Twitter. But if you want to find us, you go to Zagnif1. Zagnif Productions, Zagnif1, and also on my personal YouTube page, the Mr. Fingers. But we post the links in the This Week in SEC Football page on Facebook. That's where you can find us every Monday. As soon as I can get my black what home from work every Monday.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
I can dig it. Yo, hey, we appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Definitely tune in. Check them out. Talking that SEC, talking Georgia, getting all the updates on Brock Bowers and what's going on down the line because it's starting to all hit right now. Yeah.
Yep.
Sir, I got one alibi. I got one alibi. Today is Savannah State University's homecoming. Go Tigers! They take on the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. Savannah State this year at 2-5, suffering real hard from the loss of Coach Sean Quinn, who had them to their first winning season in almost a decade against the 5-2 Tuskegee Golden Tigers. And on the local level, the Langston Lions will be taking on Arkansas Baptist Buffaloes at 2 p.m. local time for their homecoming. Langston 4-2, heavily favored in this matchup. Arkansas Baptist must be really bad because their record is not even. I can't find their record nowhere on the internet.
Oh,
man, keeping track.
And as an added bonus, those of you that might be in the 405 area code, if you remember a little group by the name of Jagged Edge, that's the Langston Lions homecoming concert tonight here in Oklahoma City.
How about that?
Oh wow!
So that was my quick HBCU football shout out.
There you
I
go.
like it.
I can dig it. I can dig it. All right, gentlemen. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next time, no doubt.
Go Dogs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That was awesome having them on.
Oh, absolutely. Shout out to them. But look, hey, let's hit it. They talked SEC. Let's go into the Big Ten. Obviously, Michigan's biggest threat of the comes today.
Really, the biggest threat? Really?
The biggest challenge.
Rutgers was a bigger threat.
Listen, we are in survival mode, all right? We're a caged animal. You do not want to see what these guys got coming, all right?
Michigan covers the 24.5 point spread easily. Easily.
Wow. You know what? I'm moving on from this one. Look, and probably the most important game this year in the Big Ten. Number 7, Penn State. Number 3, Ohio State. You obviously have all eyes on this game. Mm-hmm. What are you expecting? We've thought this was a Penn State one, man. What do you think?
I'm expecting Penn State to cover the 4-point Ohio State spread. They got Ohio State -4. I think if Ohio State's going to win, it's going to be by a field goal. But I'm looking for Drew Aller, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, and those guys to take over. I got Penn State winning this game.
Ooh, okay. This is what I'm interested to see, and I'm more interested to see in this game Ohio State's defense. We know about the running game. We know about Aller. We know about what Penn State's offense can bring. I want to see if Ohio State's defense can step up and kind of give a little credibility to what Ryan Day was saying. Although I did not agree with his little rant at the end of the Notre Dame game, there is some kind of there is some truth in that. You know, everybody thinks Ohio State's flashy. Go throw it up. They don't look at them as a tough, hard-nosed team. And this defense is going to need to do that today. And today, which is a black and blue, the slugfest, haymakers going left and right. So yeah, I'm really looking for that one. Let's see. Andrew said Penn's running backs will take over late. It's getting chilly. It's getting cold out there, and the best thing you can have in that time is a good hard-nosed running back and a solid defense. So,
yeah,
it's potential.
And you know what? Put that comment up above that one. If Michigan State beats Michigan, I will wear a Michigan State jersey.
Let's go!
And you and Kat can pick what player. If Michigan State beats Michigan, y'all can pick what jersey. And
Yes!
But they gotta win.
Oh snap! All right. Hold up. Let me get on eBay real quick. Let me see what go. Yo, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Absolutely. Well, look, hey, what other games are you looking at today?
I had a couple here. For me, I don't expect the game to be very close, but UCF Oklahoma, the Dylan Gabriel revenge game there.
Yes.
Obviously Tennessee Alabama. That's what I'm keeping an eye on. I think Alabama covers that spread. I think Alabama by 10 personally. That's more how I feel about Milton than anyone else. The other one I'm looking at, Duke, Florida State.
Yes.
Riley Leonard is a true game time decision. They're leaning towards him not playing, though. If Leonard is in for this game is much closer than that 14.5 point spread they have FSU by right now. But if Leonard isn't in, Florida State covers that and then some. And I couldn't hear that. If Michigan State beats Michigan, Kat and Sean get to pick a Michigan State jersey that I will buy and wear.
Wee.
And then burn after, but
Quinn, I'm gonna clip this a little later, and I want to send that invitation to Kate See if she will participate. It might be a little bit too much for you. I don't know, but I'm going to throw that out there. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. But before that, what were you saying?
Duke, Florida State.
Yes. So I asked you before, you sent me that before the show, and I asked you about if he's in there, like you said, obviously that's closer. But if he's not 100%, knowing how fast that defense is, do you try to risk it and put him out there for the one game in the moment, or do you play for the long term?
See, it's tough because the typical Duke, I would say, don't even chance it, sit him, and see how it goes from there. But with the ACC just taking the two best teams and going to the conference championship game, they're still very much in this right now.
Very true.
Like, it's FSU, you guys, Duke, and Louisville. It's a 4-team race for those two spots right now. And one more loss pushes them out of it. Yeah. So I'd say if he's 75%, you put him in.
Yep. Yeah, and get him to tough it out. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I know, especially in the Big Ten, Wisconsin, Illinois today. I know Illinois is on the wrong side of they're under 500, but Illinois has put in they've put in some work this year, man. They've given Penn State some early trouble.
Penn State to their absolute limit.
Right. So I honestly trust that defense. We know about Fulango and what Wisconsin, Fickle, all those guys are doing, but I think that's going to be a good one. Northwestern, Nebraska, both those guys are 3-3. I don't think any of us thought Northwestern was going to be 3-3.
That's arguably my biggest shocker of the year. That Northwestern is 500 this late in the season.
Exactly. And I told you about the game when I was in town against Minnesota that went to double overtime.
Yeah. And they won, yeah.
Right. So Northwestern is putting up a fight, so I'm definitely looking into that. West Virginia and Oklahoma State.
That's a good game. That is a good game.
I can't let anybody in Cat's family know that I got this on right now. And I love to West Virginia, man, but these last two games against Kansas State, who last year won the Big 12 championship, against in this last week where they get it done, they get the upset against Kansas. They're hitting their stride right at the right time. And I really kind of feel like Oklahoma State can come in here, punch West Virginia in the mouth. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But coming off that loss, West Virginia, coming off that loss to Houston, where less than a minute to go, and you're like, hey, we just get hit a 50-yarder. We scored. We won this thing. And then your old coach hits a Hail Mary to beat you.
Yeah.
That takes a lot out of you. And I think they're going to have
That's
a letdown.
demoralizing for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else? Any other games you thinking?
USC Utah, looking to see how they bounce back with a physical game. I don't know if Cam Rising's back yet. Obviously he didn't play last week. But obviously Utah beat them twice last year. Coming to the Coliseum this year for it. That's a tough one. I think I'm rolling with Utah though. They've got USC by a touchdown right now. I like them. I like Utah to cover that at the very least. Yeah. But that's one that I like Utah in.
Oh man. Oh, I like that. And we saw how far USC dropped. You know what I mean? And the game didn't look pretty. Caleb threw 3 picks. If they lose another one, I mean, are they all? I mean, they're not in the CFP picture, but are they all the way out of even Heisman contention for Caleb Williams? I mean, they are just
depends how bad he plays. Like if he plays really well and they lose, then he'll still be in. But wins seem to factor in pretty big for the Heisman. So
yes,
and especially with Penix playing well and winning out. JJ's making his case to be in there. He's winning out. Bo Nix with that one loss still balled out against Penix in Washington. Dylan Gabriel's making his case
from Michigan State.
Okay. I didn't realize we were just throwing anyone in there now. You've got so many guys that are playing really well right now. That one more bad game for Caleb probably pushes him out of that.
Yeah. And that's going to be interesting. And again, that defense, we have not been quiet about that defense being a liability. I mean,
it's awful.
It's not good.
Of that defensive line, it's awful.
Right. So Utah, I could see it happen because a lot of people forget. Even though Cam Rising has been out, Utah, that defense, the rest of that team is sustained. They're still 5-1. You know what I mean? They only have one loss. So another game, you talked about the ACC and the top teams in there. Miami, who has started off 4-0, then they have the mind blank against Georgia Tech, lose that game, come in, have multiple turnovers, get beat by us, and now they're 4-2. Clemson 4-2 as well. I mean, this is the losers out, right? I mean, this is a make it or break it for a season for these guys.
Yeah, losers gone from this game. I like Clemson. I don't know why. Maybe it's just from them being so boneheaded to keep running that ball when you could have just taken the knees.
Yeah.
But I think Clemson, I mean, Dabo said it perfectly. They're 3 plays away from being undefeated in the top 5 team in the nation.
It's true.
But I don't know. This is 2 good, not great teams, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes, they are. Yes, I just heard it. Yeah. At the end of the day, after that, you got the Pac-12 night. Washington playing Arizona State. UCLA, Stanford could be a sneaky good one. We saw Stanford play the game of its life. We go. UCLA is now ranked 25th, so it could happen. It's Pac-12.
Blaze version of I just find it funny how.
So we could see, but there's a bunch of games going on, and they have started a number of them right now. So you're gonna want to tune in, see what you got going on. Hey, that's it. We're gonna let you go.
UAB in the first minute jumped out 8-0 over Memphis.
Ooh,
32-yard touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Early. Have you noticed that? I've seen a lot of people. I don't know if that's an analytics thing. A lot of teams have been doing that on their first drive. They'll go for 2. Just I don't know what that's for. Like,
I think because there's a lot of schools that won't do it.
Yeah.
After, like, to match it after, because then if you don't get it, then you're 2 points behind.
Exactly.
So a lot of schools will just, even if you get that first 2-point conversion, they'll just take the point after. So then you're 1 ahead. Right. So I understand the analytics behind it, and it's a 2-yard play. If you've got a play you feel very strongly about, go for it, in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy how much of an uptick that has taken. Yeah. This season. It's been wild.
Yeah. And more power to you if you want to do that, but it just seems weird because on the flip side, if you don't get it, then all of a sudden you are, if they score, playing down. You're playing from behind. Now you're trying to play makeup already. And depending on how the level of your offense, sometimes that could be enough to keep your offense from behind. If they feel like they got to play makeup, like catch up, it's a struggle. So
a lot of it too might just be extra faith in your defense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways to look at that. I agree with you though. It's crazy how fast of a rise that's taken.
Yeah, no, it is. It's weird, but hey, college football. That's where we are these days. That's exactly where we're at. And we're here for all of it. We're here for all of it. But look, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to hold you. The games are starting. So definitely tune in to all that good stuff. We want to send a special shout out and a thank you to Anthony Handy and Colin P. from the DMV, host of This Week in Georgia Football. Definitely tune in to them on Monday nights. They definitely show great stuff. And we appreciate them hopping on here, talking a little SEC football with us on this Saturday morning. So, for your boy, Alex Looseboy, host of Restoring the Roar, Wednesday night.
Yeah, I've been slacking the last couple of weeks. I'll bring it back Wednesday. It's coming back.
I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely looking forward to any conversation you had towards our fellow Buck fans, because they were real quiet.
And most of them messaged me and were like, "Yeah, okay, you won a good game." Like most of them were good. Like after the game, so I was like, I can't really like go talk my trash now. Like and most of them were good going into it. There was one that was going back and forth, and he was the first one to message me. So I was just like, okay.
He knew what was up. He knew.
Yeah.
Yo, and your boy Sean Spencer. You know what we got going on in Let's Talk Football. Tune in tomorrow night. We're gonna do a little recap with the Walshes, and look forward to our guy Kyle Yacy is back, and NFC South Takeover. It's coming up within today, tomorrow, one of these next couple days. I'm in that show, and I moonlight as a Panthers fan, but I'm constantly rethinking that decision. So it's rough. But hey, we're gonna go ahead and let you go. Tune into all the games we got going on today. Stay tuned for everything we got going on, and peace, people. It was fun.